This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. After experiencing trauma, I went to therapy, and my therapist guided me through a difficult time in my life. They helped me understand what was happening and provided me with tools to cope and find my own strength and resilience. Their experience and compassion were invaluable and enabled me to rebuild my life and move forward. I strongly believe in the power of therapy to help people through difficult times. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. First, you go to their site. You can use my link, betterhelp.com/resilience. You answer a few questions, and BetterHelp will match you to a professional who has years of experience helping people with struggles just like yours. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you, all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/resilience or choose podcast, then notes on resilience during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month.
I mean, first thing you got to do in your business is walk in with a good attitude, because if you own the company or the leader of the business, everybody's looking to see how the boss walks in the morning. Is he or she happy? Is she mad? Is he? What's going on? So you got to, as a leader, you got to walk in with a great attitude.
Hello, and welcome to Notes on Resilience. I'm your host, Manya Chilinsky. My guest today is Travis Hollman. He's the CEO and owner of Hollman Inc., the world's leading manufacturer of locker solutions, and the founder of MeSpace, which is a workspace design company creating spaces for neurodiverse professionals. We talked about neuroinclusion, compassion in the workforce, and what makes a really joyous workplace. I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation. Travis, I'm so excited we're talking today. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
First question, everyone gets this year. What is one thing you have done in any area of your life that you never imagined you would do?
This is going to sound really dumb, but I've done a lot of crazy stuff. But having two boys, I thought children change your world and they change your outlook on everything from work to play. But I always thought I'd have girls. I always thought I'd have kids, but I always thought they'd be girls. I didn't get one girl. I got two boys, and it's been a lot of fun, a lot of challenge, but a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yes. Even if you want kids, you can't really shape what that's going to look like when it happens. So
No, you get what you get, and I'll tell you, for everybody has kids, they're just so different. It's amazing they came from the same mom and dad. You know what I mean? It's just amazing. Like, wow, you guys, wow. Anyway, they're fun. Going to two football games tonight, so watch both of them play. It's going to be fun. My oldest one wants to kill it and have the best time ever, and wants to be a pro football player. And the other one, his favorite sport is fishing, so he just wants to be out there with his buddies. And I don't think he cares if he even plays. And he just loves everybody. They're just different. It's so fun to watch.
yeah, that must just be so interesting as a parent to see the difference in your kids like that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I've got one that's neurodiverse, and so he's had some struggles, and he's doing great now. And the other one is not, and he didn't have any struggles, and he's getting older, and he's having struggles, and some of the stuff. It's just overcome challenges and adversity, and it's they do it in a different way. And right when you think you got one going on a good path, like the oldest one wasn't giving dad hugs, and then he just turned 16, I think, because dad pays his gas bill. I get hugs now, and the one that turned 14 was a lover, and he's now doesn't want anything to do with any hugging anymore. So it's at least one wants to hug me.
Yes, you take it when you can get it. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, you actually mentioned something that is you and I are going to be talking about, which is neurodiversity. And that's something you think about is neurodiversity and neuroinclusion in the workplace. And that aligns with my wanting to talk about compassion in the workplace and how. I mean, why is it important that we have neuro-friendly environments in the workplace?
The workplace has just become such an interesting spot. So I grew up when I was a young kid. I had dyslexia and ADHD. I also had a bone disease. So I was all interesting. I was in a wheelchair when I was little, and then, of course, considered at the time just dumb. I mean, I couldn't read. I flunked third grade, quote, quote, dumbest kid that they'd ever had at the school. You're not welcome back to the school. They actually kicked me out of a private school, third grade, and told me in front of my parents that I was the dumbest kid they'd ever taught. But I was neurodiverse, and there was no understanding for it back then. And back in those days, people don't understand. If you were neurodiverse back in the days, you had autism and all these things that we're seeing now. And I think we're seeing a lot of them. Who knows if there's something in the air or whatever? I don't know that. I'm not a scientist, but back in those days, those people went to farms and there was manual labor to do. And that's where they ended up. And now there's not that type of work as much anymore. So they're ending up in the workspace. They're brilliant. I mean, the most brilliant people in the last 200 years are all neurodiverse. Albert Einstein, Henry Ford, I mean, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Bill Gates. The list is just incredible what they can do. And some of those people got in the right environment with right people, but other people are just, they're pushed in an open office space. They're pushed into a very uncomfortable situation with people walking. I mean, my computer screen, every other word is misspelled. And even the word like and or there, I still misspelled there, by the way. Their, thire, I don't know, right? But spell check that was which kind of the first AI helps us out. But it's embarrassing when people are walking behind you and your screen's just full of red everywhere because you misspelled everything. And that's what we've created. There's this open office space and this thing that everybody's just going to work out there and be normal in. I mean, there's story after story of people. I would never have made it in the work environment in an open office. There is no way I could have done it. I would be out at a farm picking strawberries, which was my first job ever, still doing it because I couldn't do it. And they're making these people go into these office spaces and work in an environment that just doesn't work for them. And there's so much, I really feel with AI coming, if you're neurodiverse and can get in an environment which helps you instead of hurts you, I think those are the people that are going to change the world. I think with AI doing the writing, and I mean, I take bullet points now and I said, let's put it in a format, and all of a sudden it'll write all the stuff around the bullet points for me. I don't have to come up with all the fancy words. I just have to come up with the idea. And neurodiverse people are excellent at coming up with ideas, but they've been put out in open office, and so with a more personalized office space environment that goes to their needs helps them. And with I mean, I feel sorry for the quote quote normal people. I do. I think that the neurodiverse, the autistic, the people are going to have such an advantage in the future. And so we're trying to do that. And also, I mean, let's be, 40% of them are unemployed. 85% of autistic kids are unemployed. There's no reason for that.
Yeah. Well, especially as you know, we're getting some tools that make it easier to communicate, easier to share your ideas in ways that are different from, or allowing you to participate in ways that we just never had the will or the capacity to be open to. And to me, the fundamental of this is having compassion for people who have a different way of being, have a different way of thinking, a different way of presenting themselves to the world than what we think is normal. And I want to say, quote unquote, normal, because what really is
We're all on the spectrum. No one just, I
exactly
don't know who brought this up, but it's called a spectrum. It means everybody's on it, right?
right,
Somewhere you
exactly
might be in the middle of it, but you're still on it. You're still on the
right.
chart.
And one does not need to be diagnosed with something like autism to hate the concept of an open office. Like I don't I don't like it, and I don't know who does like it, but I recognize that there are those differences. And so I worry about workplaces that are structured in a way to not be as accepting of those kinds of differences.
I will tell you, not only I think that they're going to have an advantage, but we started hiring specifically people or looking for people that had autism to come to work for us. And I just give you an example. Last Christmas, always have a Christmas party at my house, and one of the kids here is autistic, brilliant guy. And of course, we got him working in the right environment. But he was so nervous because the party had a theme, and he was running around, wanted to make sure he was there exactly at 7 o'clock. He was, by the way, exactly at 7 o'clock, and he had to know what to wear. And he was so confused by dressing up. And having him he talked to a bunch of his people that he knows. He's not overly talkative, and they were kind of, it was human. Talking about compassion, having these people in your office makes things more human. It makes you think, wow, they just, because they'll say stuff sometimes that is very direct, but maybe not politically correct in our environment. Now people around the office can say stuff a little bit more, not as politically correct as before, kind of like we used to talk 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And because we have people that just say that, everybody gives a little bit of balance. They're like, they don't jump to conclusions like, oh my gosh, someone said something that was might have been a little bit not what the world wants them to say right now, because there's a little bit more, like you say, compassion around them, because they're seeing people as not all like themselves, as not all neurotypical, because there's different people now. It just breeds compassion.
Hi, it's Manya. You're listening to Notes on Resilience, conversations about leadership, recovery, and how we show up in the difficult moments. If something here hits home, or if you're navigating a crisis, or you're seeing something in your team you want to talk through, I'd love to hear from you. You can get in touch at my website, manyachilinsky.com. Now, back to the episode. Right. Absolutely. Now, the kind of workplace you're describing isn't a kind of workplace that I've ever worked in when I worked in corporate America. Certainly things could have changed since I was last there, but that was not my experience of an office environment. What are the kinds of structures or policies are really important to make sure you're supporting your employees in this way, that you are recognizing the different ways that we all show up to work?
I think that, I don't know if there's really policies in place. We try to not do a lot of policies here. I've got probably one of the most diverse offices you've ever seen, and I was asked during COVID to be on a panel, talked to about 2,000 people by Bank of America, and because they said, well, you've got the most diverse office we've seen, and what's your policy? And I'm like, we just hire the best people. And it turns out that black, white, red, green, autistic, not autistic, I mean, you just get, if you hire the best people. But we do have a lookout in HR for people that are on the spectrum, because we're in that business, and I think they're actually, most of them are smarter, and they come with different ideas. I just had the most marvelous morning here. I got Hugs Cafe came in, and they help people with that are on the spectrum and Down syndrome, and they came in with a kid named Travis that's got Down syndrome to look at our project, and we're helping them with some things here. We're giving them free lockers and stuff. But and I told her, this Lauren lady, I said I had a dream about 3 months ago. I haven't done it yet, but everybody gets, corporate office gets so tense, and people with Down syndrome I've never met one that's not happy. They are happy just to be part of something. And I had this dream, and I have not done it yet, that we hired somebody with Down syndrome our just to work and help people around the company, and to be that light that inspires people to be more compassionate and realize that people can be happy with who they are, and can be, it's not serious all the time. We take ourselves so seriously. And this kid was great. He has a job there, and he just wrote they have a pledge they say every morning, the whole office, and he wrote it because he's in charge of making people happy. And I said, that's exactly what my dream was, to have someone there that just makes you happy. And so there's a great opportunity for people. And AI is not taking that job. I mean,
No,
they're not taking that job at all.
the chief happiness officer, that fully a human role. And I love how you're thinking about the skills different people bring to the office, because that's fundamentally that's what we're talking about. We each bring different awareness, different skills. And I think for so long in the workplace, we've rewarded a very narrow way of being.
Oh, correct. Yeah, that's it's all been, I mean, look at the reports that you get. All the reports are exactly the same. If you look at PowerPoints, they're all done exactly the same. Everything you get in Office is so bland nowadays. It's all been done. I think with the skill set that some of these people could really change, not having different types of people, especially, not just races, but different types of minds in there is bigger advantage than race or anything else and being done that way. I think it's just the different thinking is incredible, and you kind of learn everything from everybody's got a different role, and if everybody can look at a problem differently, and that's where some of the people you get people we've got people from different countries and they look at things differently, different religions, they look at things differently, they come from a different angle, and that's where I think the true fabric is. I think that's what creates this workplace that is compassionate, by having different people, because you get to see what life is like for other people all over the place. So keep your eyes open.
Right. And people bring their different histories and their different experiences and different ideas. And that really benefits the business and the innovation. And yeah, what do you think? I feel sometimes people are afraid to hire individuals who are different than they are. And which I think is a failure of thinking. But do you have any metrics or indicators that kind of show how important it is to hire people who are different?
No, we're not that big of a company, and we don't measure that, but you can just see it. I mean, if you're involved in your business, you kind of you know what's going on. I mean, first thing you got to do in your business is walk in with a good attitude, because if you own the company or the leader of the business, everybody's looking to see how the boss walks in the morning. Is he
Yes.
or she happy? Is she mad? Is he what's going on? So you got to as a leader, you got to walk in with a great attitude. But you can there's always those people. Every company has those people that walk in and bring a lot of personality and compassion and drive and everything to the company. And those people, you know who those are. Everybody that's listening does. Those are the people you need to keep. They're wonderful to have. You need those people uplifting people in your company. And then you're going to just have some other people that just put their head down and work. And those people are great too, but you need a mix of people. They got to work together.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What kind of non-traditional leadership practices do you think kind of promote this kind of inclusivity and compassion in a workplace?
We celebrate a lot of stuff here at our company. We celebrate birthdays. We used to do a birthday cake for every single person there. And then we got up to a couple hundred people and we couldn't do that anymore. I mean, people were just getting fat. but but it was fun. But we just celebrate people and we have fun together. When you go to work, either you can go to work and not like it and put your 8 hours in, or find a place that you're doing something that's powerful. You've got people in there that you're friends with. I love it. There's people here that go golfing once a week. There's groups, there's reading groups and everything. We don't plan any of that. We encourage anything like that. But we don't plan anything like that. And once you get those kinds of things going in your company, there's groups in the plant that go to church together, and there's big church groups. That's what kind of grows that company culture by itself. And you got to promote it, but you can't demand it. And it'll organically happen because people find people they like to be with, and then they become very loyal to the company and they become better workers, better employees because they enjoy being here. They want to come in. We didn't shut down. Everybody thought I was crazy. We didn't shut down during COVID because we actually got letters from some of the government people saying we were mandatorily needed to work on some jobs it was kind of a weird thing. But so we didn't shut down. And my plants had to work. So then I brought all the office staff in after about a month, and I said, I can't have them go out and work next to each other. And we're scared at home, sitting at home. And everybody that worked together during that time thanked us later and said, "Hey, this is the place we were excited to get back to work to see our friends at work." Unfortunately, COVID has caused a lot of problems, and that people don't, got so disconnected from other people. It's hard. They haven't connected back in yet. And now we're forcing, one of these companies are forcing people to come back. But I think if they'd never really left, as long as they did, it would have been a very easy thing because they want to see their friends. They should have friends. If you're not going to work and don't have friends there, don't go do something else. That's not. This is where you should be having friends because this is where you spend your time.
That is one of those questions on surveys, right? Do you have a best friend at work? And it sounds like you have built this joyous environment. I mean, work gets done and people are working, but if you've built this place where so many people are creating friendships, that really speaks to the culture and to your leadership. And again, you're not forcing this on people, but you've created this environment. I love the sound of that.
We just got done. One of our sales guys got married. He's been here for about 4 years, and in his wedding party, he had 3 Hollman employees in his wedding party.
Aw.
That's what you want to create.
That says a lot. That says a lot, Travis, about the culture in your company. Yay, you. I love the sound of that.
It's not all perfect here,
Oh, I know. I know.
but we'll take the accolades.
Absolutely. Take the accolades when you can. And no workplace, even the most compassionate and the most inclusive, is perfect because it's filled with humans who are imperfect. And sometimes we don't get along, and sometimes we don't do the things we're supposed to do. What do you think is the biggest risk to an organization if they don't embrace this kind of inclusivity and compassion in their workplace?
I mean, it's things are moving so fast with social media and with all the amount of when I started working in the 80s, there was nothing like that. If you didn't like work, you told your friends at home, and that was it.
Yes.
Um, Now it's so things move so fast. If your company becomes stale or isn't the place to be, people change jobs so fast nowadays. My generation, you were supposed to be at one job your whole life.
Yes.
That was it. And now I think the average per I can't remember read is something like 3 years or something like that at a job, and they're changing. So you have to create a place where they want to stay because all the business, everybody in business knows you don't make money on anybody for at least the first year. That's between the mistakes and trainings and everything else. It's really not profitable for the company the first year. You're overpaying them the first year. So you really got to get them to get your return on investment. You got to give them a place that they need to stay. So you got to create an environment and things talk. People information moves so fast. I mean, look at some of these companies. They've come out and been canceled, and all of a sudden it's just boom, you're gone, and everything changes, and the companies go downhill, and it happens very, very, very quickly nowadays. So you really got to focus on it every day, and you got to bring your best game to work every day, and you got to, as the owner, you've got or business or president or whoever you are, you got to just come in with a good attitude and know that people are watching you. They're going to mimic you, and hopefully not going to cancel you, but you better they're going to talk, and they're going to talk on social media. They're going to talk on LinkedIn, and they're going to talk to people. And so you got to, it's much more dicey now. You got to be this, you got to be very careful, not necessarily what you say, but the attitude you bring, the thought process you bring.
Right. Well, you mentioned that people are watching you, right? And they're listening to what you say. And what's so important about that is that your words and your actions are aligned. So you're not saying one thing and acting and doing something differently in the workplace, talking to the public about how great things are, but then doing something different in the workplace. So people really do pay attention to your words and your actions.
Yeah, they do, especially, and then they all have a voice
Yeah.
now. Back in the old days, we had unions. No one had a voice. Now everybody's got a, got an X account. Everybody's got a voice.
Yes.
Probably some people shouldn't have voices, but we're good at that.
Well,
But
yes. I mean, I do think everybody has a voice. Not everybody's voice gets listened to, but hopefully in more workplaces, more voices are being heard. That's the dream. So we're getting close to the end of our time, Travis. What is giving you hope these days?
that's an interesting thing. I think AI is giving me hope that we're going to get to. My main goal, one of the things we're doing with MeSpace, we're using a company called Neurables. We're actually looking at your brain waves when you're in open office as opposed to being in a MeSpace. And your basically mental abilities go up by 26% inside the space. So we're increasing your cognitive output by 26%, which means you're getting about 26% more work done and better work done in the same amount of time. My big goal would be to between AI and things like MeSpace is get to a 4-day work week. People don't know this. Back in the early days, Henry Ford, it was a 6-day work week, 10-hour day, 60-day work week. Henry Ford invented the production line, and he's the one that basically moved it down to the 4-day or the 5-day work week, 40-hour week. And then when invention of the computer came, everybody thought we'd get to a 3-day work week because productivity goes so long. Productivity went up there, but corporate America just grabbed the profits. And now we're at another inflection point. And so if MeSpace can help and things like AI can help get more work done, it would be great to see people have the ability to go spend time with their friends and family almost half their life than a 3-day work week. They're getting closer to the half their life. And I think that would be the thing that gives me hope is hopefully corporate America doesn't steal the profits and it gives people back a little bit of their own humanity in life and the world's just a little bit better place.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Travis, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed our conversation. And before we go, can you please tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do?
My name is Travis Hollman. I'm the owner of Hollman Inc., which we are the largest locker manufacturer in the country. And so we do all the lockers. We just did the Green Bay Packers, and I do all the LA Fitnesses and the Planet Fitnesses, and all the golf courses that you can think of. And we just started a new company, new division called MeSpace, which is a very customized private office to work in all day that has got things directly positioned for neurodiverse people. A very interesting thing, we just started our all of our stuff, which I said we're 26% cognitive improvement in MeSpace, but neuro. I thought the neurodiverse people would have a bigger boost in that. And neurodiverse and neurotypical people are all enjoying the product getting the same boost in the product. So we are all more similar than we think. And that's coming from brainwave research, it's not a survey. This is actually kind of like the old suction cups on your head that they've Neurables has made it into a headset that reads everything around your ears. And so this is actually brainwave technology. And it's just amazing to see that we're all more similar. We're all on this planet together, and everybody thinks we're so divisive, even politically. But I bet you when you get down on everything, if everybody starts looking at the similarities, we're all closer together than everybody thinks.
I think you're right about that. That the research sounds fascinating and so does MeSpace. I love that idea. Travis, thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking with you today.
I enjoyed it too. Thank you.
And thank you to our listeners for listening to this episode of Notes on Resilience, and I will catch you next time.